The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Chris Matthews. So, Chris, what do you think about the speech, the tone that the president was trying to achieve with this?
It was perfect. No victory lap. Emphasizing the damage that the right wing has done here. It's done. It's already done. We don't know all the numbers yet, but in terms of consumer confidence, slowing of our growth rate, slowing of job production, going toward the holidays and Christmas, the damage has been done. And I think it's very important to bring that out. This wasn't street theater. There's a cost here. Now, behind that cost was an insult to the American people and to our government. The willingness of the people on the hard right, not John Boehner, he had to go along with it. On the hard right, their willingness to stop everything, risk default, in fact, pay the price of default in terms of wariness around the world about our value of our word, our signature, all because they believe, and this is a scary prospect, about 30% of the country thinks they're better Americans than the rest of us. They use the word we the as if they are the American people. When you listen to Ted Cruz, he speaks for the American people, even though the numbers show he's a minority. You know why? They believe that they're better Americans. When they see that the country voted for Obama, they say, oh, that was just minorities. That was just the liberals in the big cities. They're not Americans. Americans' vote should count for more. So they never gave him a honeymoon. They never respected him being president. A bunch of them still think he's an illegal immigrant because he's not one of them or one of us, as they call themselves. And this sense of moral indignation, you can see it on the face of Ted Cruz. Every time he speaks, he's got that hurt look. Somehow we've been wronged. We're somehow the true Americans, and we got to take back our government. From whom? Who are the people running the U.S. government right now? They don't want to admit he's legal. They don't want to admit the Americans are running this government, and the American people elected this president twice, and the Obamacare, or the Affordable Care, passed. It was passed by the Senate with 60 votes, passed by the House, signed by the president, reviewed by the Supreme Court, found constitutional, but they don't respect that. You know why? Because we didn't pass it. We, the true American patriots, the super patriots, and you see what they're, and the irony is they got the Confederate flag. What's that got to do with patriotism? And they do it all again. And by the way, he was speaking to that today. And he said, if you want to change something, argue. Win an election. Well, that's, and you know what? They take that as an insult because they don't think they can win any more elections because they're the minority now.
But in that speech, Chris, though, the president respects divided government and respects disagreement.
We're going to have disagreement as long as we live, Thomas.
But it's the dysfunction that's the problem.
Is basically in the middle, politically divided by two sides. And the only way we're going to resolve things is getting together and compromising. And those people think a compromise means dealing with the enemy.
So
dealing with the enemy. And you know who the enemy is, according to Mike Lee and all the other people that hang around Cruz? It's the people who vote for Obama. They're the enemy.
Well, if we look at what the president laid down in terms of what he can achieve in the rest of his time at the White House, we see him talking about a grand bargain potentially.
Right.
For immigration reform are probably solidified in seeing the president raise their flag today, and also the Farm Bill, which I think might have caught people by surprise.
These are all parts of it. That's his agenda. But I think the more, I'm sorry to jump away from your question, because I think he has his own legitimate agenda, immigration reform. The focus that people want to put it right now is, do the majority have a right to run this country? Does the majority rule still matter? Does the fact that he was elected president, is it paramount? Is that to be respected? You look at Cruz's face. He doesn't respect the election of President Obama, the re-election of President Obama. You look at Mike Lee. They all run around as if we got all these white people out here, this little minority of the country, but they're better Americans than the rest, and we represent them. So what they're saying, you listened to Sean Hannity last night, the next round is in 90 days. We can't wait for round two. They're going to keep doing this on a rotational basis every 3 months, as long as they can do it, because what they want to do is bring down this government, not just Obamacare. They want to bring them down.
But how do you think that's going to go to their benefit? Because we talk about 90 days and we get into January.
Turmoil.
That means 2014.
I think what they want is continual elections. They want continual anger. They want to stir up the people on the right, make them hate Obamacare, propagandize against, use all the big money they can get. Look at the advertising against Obamacare. It's $500 million to like $75 million in terms of advertising. They want to keep pounding this guy. They want to shake him. But I have to tell you today, that speech, the president can be aloof. He can be away from the action sometime, not hang around with Congress enough. I'm for all those criticisms. But he came through today. That was a three-pointer.
All of us need to stop focusing on the lobbyists and the bloggers and the talking heads on radio and the professional activists who profit from conflict and focus on what the majority of Americans sent us here to do. The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.